welcome to my presentation over my passion project over feral cats. I know you can't see the board right now, but I will take photos of the close-up, that way you guys can see it for the details and for you, Miss Sybil's. So to start off, what is my project? Well, my project was spreading the awareness and educating people about why it is important to help control the feral cat population. And I was hoping to talk to everyone in like suburban areas and inner city areas, and especially those in my community. And so to start with that, I'm going to start about why it is important. And why would you ask, why is a feral cat important? It's just an outdoor cat. Well, it's truly not. The feral cat plays a big, important role in our ecosystem. They control a lot of things like the rodent population, the bird population. So if we do not control these things, they do have a negative effect on the ecosystem. And not only that, but any of the people here that have indoor cats, if those outdoor cats end up coming in contact with feral cats, there's a chance that they may contract a disease like feline leukemia, or even FIV, which is the feline AIDS disease. And both of those are, one of those is autoimmune, the other one is a very dangerous disease, and both ends up having shorter lifespans for cats. And so it is important that we need to help programs like the TNR to control these efforts so that less cats are affected by these devastating diseases. So first I wanted to think, how could I get out into the community? And as some of you might remember, I wanted to take videos in people's neighborhoods and go door to door and show people that there are feral cats in their neighborhood. But the more I thought about that, the more I realized this isn't really plausible. There's no way I could do this. So I had to change it up. And so my next thing was have a goal. I wanted to talk to at least 50 people that I know in different areas to show, just how spread out, just how many cats there truly are, and talk to them and see what they really had to say. And I got about 56 people, which is above my goal. And so I'm really proud that I was able to do that before the coronavirus outbreak. But in the event that I hadn't had done the hadn't had asked people before the coronavirus, I probably would have sent out a survey to the people I know, asking general questions like, do you know if you have any feral cats, where they might be, and questions such like that. And so the only problem that I felt with the polls online was that some people might not respond. It's easier if I'm face to face, or some people might not give their information because, yes, if I send it to people I know, there's no guarantee I know where they live, or I can track like where the feral cats are, and so it's just like harder, and it was easier for me to go door to door. So getting into my what I found was, so in South Kansas City, which is a more suburban yet inner city area, I found that of the 12 people that I talked to, 8 of them had said they had saw feral cats, and of the 8, 4 of them had saw 2 or more feral cats. So that just goes to show you that 66 of the population saw feral cats in that area. Well, a lot of people don't realize it, but there are feral cats, They like to hide in places where there aren't humans, so you generally don't notice them unless you're really, really looking for them or you see them at night. And so the fact that even though they don't come out to humans, people still see them just shows you how they still are out there and still active. And then the next neighborhood I visited was Raymore, which is a more suburban area, and I wasn't surprised to find that of the 26 people had only seen claimed to seen feral cats, and of the 6, about 2 of them had said they saw 2 or more. So this kind of shows you that when you get into some more suburban, where there are a lot more people in neighborhoods, you tend not to find it as much. It's not as more common. Versus when I went to visited where I live, and that's Peculiar, Missouri. And for those who don't know, that is a more rural area, and I visited about 26 people there. And of the 26, 15 had said that they had seen feral cats. And for those who don't know, for those who think that that's a big amount compared to Kansas City, to me it's not that surprising, because in rural areas there are a lot more birds, there are a lot more rodents, and so those cats tend to migrate. And so yeah, and some other questions that I would ask them was, do they know the difference between a feral and a stray? Because a lot of people think, oh, a feral cat is the same as a stray. but in reality those are two very different things, and you don't want to get those confused. The next question that I had was again talking about what they had seen, like how to identify the feral cat. That way they could, decide, because the universal symbol for a feral cat is a little tag on their ear. So that's how they kind of wanted to know how they had seen feral cats. And the last few things I talked about with them was just advice, what to do in the event that they wanted to help, how to get in connection with people who do take major efforts in fighting feral cat populations. So places like Help Humane, Spay and Neuter Kansas City, those places play a big role in the program TNR, which stands for Trap, Neuter, Return. That's the way that this company has designed the way that you can control the feral cat population, which is as simple as it sounds. It literally means trap, neuter, or spay and return to where they are, because feral cats, of course, cannot be socialized. They cannot live with humans. But if you neuter and spay them, you are able to reduce the amount of kittens that would come out in the next litter by so much, because they're spay and neutered, they won't be able to have them. And so with that being said, I wanted to show you the difference between feral and stray, because a lot of people didn't know, and so I wanted to educate you guys. So a stray cat is a cat that at one point in its life has been socialized. So a stray cat almost always starts with the family. That it even can include an outdoor cat. It's just any cat that will come in contact with humans. So if you're in your neighborhood and a cat comes up to you, lets you pet it, you are able to feed it, then that is not a feral cat. Feral cats almost never, ever do that. So that's your biggest thing for feral cats. Your next biggest thing is that they can come inside. They're not going to run away from you. They're not going to be as scruffy. They're going to have a better coat. They won't look as shaggy. And so those are your big takeaways. But again, it's going to be that human personality, human contact that you're really going to see the difference. The next difference that you're going to see is how they play a role in how they play a role with other cats. So if other cats, they don't tend to stay with other cats, they only tend to be by themselves. Those tend to be strays versus feral, because feral know that they can hunt in communities, it's better for them. Versus feral cats, you're not going to see them very often. They're not going to come in contact with humans. They tend to avoid, which is why you put out traps, because you're not going to physically be able to trap them. They have to do it themselves. They're also going to be scruffier. They're not going to look as clean. That just tends to be they don't have as human contact, so they tend to not be pet as much, or they don't look as clean. They have to fight their way to get food. They also have this thing called flight or fight reaction when it comes to humans. So working at the vet, I've really realized what that truly is. So feral cats, when you get in contact with them, they'll do one of two things. They will run, or they will try to act like they're running at you, but then run away. So it's both kind of runaways, but one is a more aggressive, more mean kind of cat, and that's why people tend to think feral cats are rude, but it's really just the reaction towards humans. And other than that, the only other difference is they will never come in contact. Like I already said, they will stay as far away. You can leave food out, but they won't come get it until you have left. So those are the really big difference. Other than that, I really think that everyone should partake. I think everyone should just go out and spread. We should all be educating others about how important this is. Especially here in Missouri, we do have a lot of native birds, and these cats will kill a lot of birds, so it is incredibly important to do that. So doing this project, I have learned a lot of things. I have learned that I need to have more realistic outward reach goals. I think that doing this project really showed me what I'm capable of and what I should do, and like I already said, I already changed it because it didn't end up working. And the other thing that I really thought I could do to even elevate this project and may take it next year is that next year I could almost create a website partnering with one of the companies, talking about how I can get other people to make a website where they can pinpoint where they saw feral cats. So it's almost like hotspots within Missouri, and these people that go out and collect feral cats, they're able to collect those feral cats because they have already known that there's a known record of where the feral cats are. So if I were to take it to the next level, I feel like that's where I would take it next. And other than that, I really enjoyed making this project, and I hope you guys liked it.